Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. In this session, we'll talk about formulating research objectives. This is one of the important steps in planning your research, planning your proposal. One of the most important steps is to formulate a sound research objective. If you write research objective in the right way, you are paving the way for your research to be accepted and you avoid rejections. I mean, of your proposal. Okay, so in this session, uh, or by the end of this session, the attendants will appreciate the need for writing clear research objectives, and the candidates will be able to formulate smart research objectives. What are research objectives? Research objectives provide clear, focused direction. Research objectives guide research process and help researcher address the main question. So we always get the research objective after we consult the research question or the hypothesis, then we can formulate the research objective, which will be the guide for hitting the target in your research. So if you want to define the research objective, they are concise statements that outline the specific goals and aims of a research. They are concise statements that outline the specific goals and aims of a research. Why we set objectives? If you look at this sign, here we have confusion, we have multi directions, we don't know where to go. Okay, so why we need to set a research objective? To avoid this. Okay, to avoid this. So setting research objective enhance the efficacy and effectiveness of the study by providing well-defined roadmap, decrease ambiguity. What are we doing? What we want to do? What specifically we want to do, and ensure focus of the research. There is clear focus. We are not off-road. Okay, so how to formulate research objective? Consult the main purpose of the study. Why are you at the first place doing this research? Ask yourself why. What is the main problem you are discussing? Address the specific research questions. Then after you consult the main problem, then address the specific areas, the specific questions. Uh, Usually when we write research objective, we divide them into two types. We have the general objectives, and definitely we have specific objectives. The general objective, and this is one of the common mistakes done by most the students who submit their researches for the master thesis, is that when they come to the area of the general objective, they just rewrite the title, sometimes with all of its contents. Is it like this? No. The general objective reflects the overall aim, the overall benefit of the study. If I do this study, who will benefit from this? What is this benefit? Why are we at the first place doing this? Is it just to get the degree? Is it just to get a paper published? Is it the aim of the study? Is it just to measure the tibia? Is measuring the tibia a general objective of a study? No. So if you are measuring the tibia, the right and the left tibia, you using so and so and so. Why are you doing this? For what reason? Okay. So if you answer this question, this is your general objective. Okay. So it is the overall aim, the overall result, the overall fruit which we get from this research. Usually, the general objective may be one general objective or two because we are talking about the general aim, not like the specific objective, which may be more than that. The specific objectives, these are more important, and they are the true guide of the research. They are the breakdown of the general objective. So if I want to get this benefit, if I want to get this aim, how I can do it? By measuring the tibia, by measuring the tibia in male and female, by doing so and so and so. Okay, so this will uh, tell you what you will do in your research. The specific objective, they address the aspects of the research problem, as we mentioned before. They specify what the researcher will do in the study. Okay, this is a very important phrase. They specify what the researcher will do in the study. Where, when, for what purpose. Okay, so all these questions should be answered in the specific objectives. Specific objectives should be SMART. This is for acronym for S, specific. M for measurable. The specific objective should be specific and measurable. Achievable, relevant or realistic, and time bound. Specific mean that make sure your goal is specific and narrow for more effective planning. Don't write ambiguous words which cannot be specific. Specify, as we mentioned before. M for measurable. Make sure your goal and progress are measurable. Achievable, make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. And the specific objective should be relevant. Your goal should align with your values and long-term objectives. Set a realistic but ambitious end date to clarify task prioritization and increase motivation. This is something which can help you write your specific objective using the SMART acronym. Specific, I will get fit. This is not specific, but I will run. Okay, and this is something even which is measurable because I will run twice a week. If you say more often, this is something which is not measurable. Achievable, for at least 2 miles. If you ride 20 miles, this is something which is not achievable for you, so you will not go anywhere. Relevant, so I can finish a marathon. Why are you doing measuring the TB? So you can help in forensic activity. Timely, uh, one day, this is something which is ambiguous. You are not determining the time for your research by the end of 2024 and so on. Okay, so this is something which just help you to write your specific objective. Usually we write a specific objective in action verbs. I will show you some of the examples, and these action verbs should reflect the SMART acronym. Okay, if you use the word to know, this is something which is not specific. So usually you need to use verbs which entitle the specificity and measurability of the specific objective. One important thing is that always check alignment. Alignment between what? Your objectives, your methodology, and the findings. At the stage of writing your proposal, you set your objective, then what methods will satisfy this objective. So write methods which actually measure and specify these objectives. Okay, when you do your research, when you get your findings should be answers to your specific objectives. Okay, some of the researchers, some of the master students here, they write findings in the result section or in the discussion which are not part of their objective. So this should be omitted. This is not part of this research. Or you wrote a specific objective here, number 3, but when I go to the tables and the results and your findings, I couldn't find anything which is related to this objective. You mentioned you have this objective, you mentioned that you are measuring it with this methodology, but at the results there is no findings. Okay, so you should not write any result which is not in your objective. Any objective you are writing here, you should write its methodology and its results. Okay, so these three, they are the most important part of your research. Any examiner, any reviewer of your research, the first thing they will do, they will go and they check the alignment of your uh, research by aligning these three things. Okay, so this slide is very important and it is uh, should be uh, considered. Common mistakes when writing research objective is when you write vague, unclear objective, and this is very common. Generally, any writing of research objective which is not smart will be a mistake. Another mistake, as we mentioned before, there would be no alignment between the objective and the findings of the methodology. Let us see some examples just to conclude this. Okay, look at this. This is an actual uh, specific objective set by one of my students. Number one, to measure the satisfaction of anatomy master students for Telegram channel to augment learning of developmental anatomy course. Okay, so here you can see that the student is using this verb to measure, and this is an action verb which is measurable and specific, and they are measuring the satisfaction of students, and they are this satisfaction is toward the Telegram channel to augment learning of this developmental anatomy course. Okay, so even from here you can read how you will do this. Okay, and you are expecting the results. Here I will get a table with uh, percentages of satisfaction. Are they strongly satisfied and so on. To determine, this is another verb, the effectiveness of anatomy mastery students toward Telegram channel to augment learning of developmental anatomy course through a pre and post test. So here, this will be measured through this pre and post test, and these are measurable things. This is measurable, these are specific. To determine the advantages and barriers of using Telegram channel to augment learning, to determine what challenges, what advantages, and so on. Okay, so here we are uh, seeing a well-written specific objective. Let us see another example. To identify the common type of heel pain in the Sudanese population. Identify the common type, ignore the grammatical mistake, of heel pain in Sudanese population. But what Sudanese population are we studying? The verb here is good, but Here there is no specificity. What type of Sudanese population are you going to study? University students? Are you going to study all Sudanese population? Are you going to make a sample? And so on. Determining the common presenting features. Determining the common presenting features. What common presenting features? Don't be fatigued, okay? You have to write in full terms so your specific objective will be specific. If you read this, the common presenting feature of what? Irritable bowel, of appendicitis, of what? In what patients, and so on. So again, here we have vague specific objective. Identifying the basic structural features predisposing to the various etiological types of heel pain like distribution, frequency of gender, age, weight, stature, measurement of arches, angles, and here we are writing a specific one. Relating the structural feature to symptomology. What structural feature? What symptomology? Okay, so here again going vague. Let us take a third example, this including a general objective to study the renal artery variations detected on computed tomography undergone by Sudanese patients Sudan care. If you go back to this research, you will see that this is just rewriting of the title. But what the aim? Why are we studying the renal artery? This would be your general objective. What if you detect variations? Is it important? Will anyone benefit from measuring this renal artery? This would be your general objective. So again, the specific objective to identify the pattern of renal artery anatomical variations. Where, when, how, all these are not answered. To calculate the frequency of the different renal artery variations, again, in what patients, in what context, and so on. Okay, to identify other anatomical vascular variation. Other, what do you mean with other? You have to specify the other anatomical vascular variations, or this specific objective is not specific and it is not helping you, it is not guiding you to your research. Okay, so we have seen some of the common mistake here. This brings us to the end of our session, and questions, suggestions, and comments are welcome through any mean of communication. In summary, we have seen that objectives are the guide for doing research. If you are not writing your objective, you are not writing your research. So even when you ask me to look for a research idea, please bring me your objective so I can see what are you trying to do. Objectives should be carefully formulated. You have to know how to write a general objective, a general aim, overall benefit of the study, specific objective. They should be smart, specific, measurable, relevant, attainable, time bound, and always check the alignment of the objective, the methods, and the findings. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this session.